I'm Scott L. Miller. It is the 16th of May, 2022. I am back in Nicaragua. Welcome to my daily vlog of life in Central America. Today is Monday, and it is our journey back from Houston via Costa Rica back to Nicaragua where we live. So we have a really big day today. We had to be up super early, about 5:45 for me at least, in the morning in Houston. I had to get up, get my stuff packed as quickly as I could, wake up the kids, jump in the car, and run to the Motel 6, which is about 15 minutes away, to get Dominica and Kat, who are having a slumber party out there. I texted Dominica at 5:45 to make sure she was awake, and then at 6 o'clock she's like, have you left? Yep, I'll wake up Kat now. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're never gonna be ready. Ran down there, got them, ran back to the house. Then I had to shower while Dominica and her dad worked on getting the car all packed. Mostly it was already packed. A lot of that was done last night. We did the last minute stuff, got all of our things in, did our last checks, get everybody loaded up. We were packed to the hilt. It's a CX-9, a Mazda CX-9, so it's a large vehicle, but we had so much luggage and a car top carrier full of luggage, and all of us adults packed in there. And Dominica's father drove us to the airport. We're at Houston Hobby, which is the small airport in the south, the one that's the secondary hub for Southwest Airlines, which is perfect, and they do direct flights to Liberia, Costa Rica, which is where we're going. So we got to the airport just about 8 o'clock. By the time we had done all that and got there and fought through traffic, it was a little bit before 8. It was probably about 7:45. And we really wanted to be there by 7:55 because that's the 3-hour mark to our flight. And at 3 hours is when they start opening things. And it's a bit much, but we like to be first in line when they open, or at least in line when they open, so that the maximum amount of protection exists for us getting on the plane. We don't want to be in a position where we end up missing a flight and they say, oh, you should have been here earlier. We get there as early as it is possible. If we were there any earlier, we would just be standing around outside waiting for them to give us a place to go. So that's our process, and it protects us quite a bit. We didn't have any problems today, luckily. So I'm actually going to flip the camera because I can do that now. I've got the lavalier. We're heading down to the park, so I'm going to keep talking, but show you where I'm walking because it's just kind of interesting. And you can say hi to this dog. So we got there and we had 3 hours to go, which is really easy. So we got right through, we got our luggage done. We had to rebalance a tiny bit, but it was really minor. And then we had to go through security. This was our first time going through security in the United States that I can remember where we didn't have to do anything. I may have had to do this years ago, but for the first time, and as long as I can remember at least, we got to keep our shoes on and all of our luggage got to stay packed. We didn't have to take out laptops, iPads, phones, nothing. We could keep our watches on. So it was really nice and very fast, so much more convenient. I hope more places are doing that because it really keeps the lines from forming, because you don't get backed up with people like confusion and having a million different things that they have to do. So that was really nice. We got through and had loads and loads of time to just sit in the airport and relax. So we got a little bit to eat and just chilled at the airport. That was the whole adventure of the morning. So everything went fine. Our flight boarded on time. We managed to get perfect seats. It was a flight that only had one empty seat on the entire plane, and Dominica and I actually managed to get the row with no other person. So we had the aisle seat and the window seat and no one in the middle. So it was great. And the girls wanted to hang out with Kat, so they sat with her in their own row across from us. So we had a very comfortable flight. The whole thing was great, and it's very quick and easy. Sí, gracias. It's about 3 hours and 5 minutes from Hobby to Costa Rica, to Liberia, Costa Rica, and we had, for the most part, an absolutely crystal clear flight. I had the window seat because Dominica needs the aisle because of her motion sickness. So, and this is very rare that I get a window seat because I'm okay sitting in a middle seat, because I prefer the aisle seats, because Luciana prefers the window seat, and I'm normally with the girls. I just always end up in a position where I'm the one who doesn't even get the window, which is fine. I don't care at all. But this was really cool. I got the window seat on this one and could see all of Texas as we took off. I was able to identify Tabasco and Campeche, Mexico as we flew into there. I was able to identify Belize as we flew over the entire Belizean coast. I'm going to come back and join you guys here in just a second. And could identify Honduras, which I've gotten very good. We've flown over Honduras enough that I'm kind of an expert at pointing out the places there. So I even know, I'm like, there's San Pedro Sula, there's Tegucigalpa, here's the Nicaraguan border. We fly over, the flights come right over the border and then go over León. I was able to pick out the volcano by Chinandega, and that's the one spot where we had clouds, so I couldn't really see too much. So we flew over Managua in the clouds. I couldn't see the lake and the city. And then as soon as we got towards El Crucero, I looked down and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know exactly where we are. Boom, there's the Residencia that I really like. There's the intersection, there's the Mirador, there's Crucero, there's Didiambra and Hino Tepe and on. And then we started to descend and I could see Popoyo, Playa Popoyo in Rivas, crystal clear as well. And then we flew in low over the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica and got just the most amazing views of that resort area there and the construction and all the things that it's such a gorgeous area. And then flew low over the Guanacaste before landing in Liberia. So it was, for me, it was a really great flight. Most everybody napped. Dominica, of course, just watched a movie, but I had a really enjoyable flight because I could pick out everything and my GPS worked on my phone during the flight. So and my map for some reason was actually loaded. So I was able to watch everything as I went. It was really fun. So we landed in Costa Rica. Our taxi was waiting for us. So we had to have a service. If anyone needs a taxi in Costa Rica, I can give you a number. Reliable, we'll pick you up. They ran us. We had an errand we had to run for Alan. His dog is very sick and needs medicine from Costa Rica. So we had them take us to a vet clinic. And on the way there, we stopped at Taco Bell and Burger King for our last chance to get, first of all, we needed food just because it's a travel day and we want to make sure we have food because we didn't have breakfast really. And then we hit the vet and we just ate in the van, right? Got the medicine from the vet that was waiting for us, and we headed off towards the border. It's only about a 90-minute drive, and the whole way, even as we were landing, Kat is just like, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And she loved every bit of it. And we drove to the border. She couldn't believe all the volcanoes she was seeing. That was really cool. Very easy drive. Got to the border. The border took longer than it did the other direction, but it didn't take long. It was very easy. We had a few people in line in front of us. There's a few extra pieces of paperwork as you're entering Nicaragua compared to entering Costa Rica. It is a much smaller tourism country, and so the mechanisms for tourism aren't as refined. Costa Rica runs on tourism, so they're very, very good about getting people in and out. Nicaragua does not run on tourism in any significant way, and so it's a much smaller thing, but no problems at all. We did run into a little bit of a discussion because we have so many Nicaraguan stamps in our books. I mean, I have easily 10, and they're like, this is a lot of stamps. What's going on? Shouldn't you be looking at residency? And we're like, we are looking at residency. We already own a place. We're filing. We went to the United States to get paperwork, and they're like, oh, you own a hotel. You're getting paper. Great. Stamp, 90 days, you're good. So it is something to be aware. They're starting to look at, and I've heard this from a few people, they're starting to look at the number of stamps you have in your passport, and if it gets really high, they're going to start pressuring you for residency. It doesn't mean that they're going to force you, it doesn't mean they're going to deny you, but they're starting to ask questions. Why aren't you getting residency? But if you are getting that many stamps, you should be asking yourself, what's keeping me from looking for residency? And maybe you can't, but most people can, so they're trying to encourage people in that direction at least, but just be aware that could become a thing. But we had no problem getting in. Leo was waiting for us, which is perfect. There is a bit of a walk with it. We had a lot of luggage, so we noticed the amount of walk. Plus, at least one of the pieces of luggage lost a wheel, one lost a handle. We're always rough. We weigh them down so much that they don't wear well with us, even though everything was brand new. Got into the van with Leo, and the rest of the day is easy peasy. All we have to do is relax and let Leo drive us all the way home. the instant we were in Nicaragua, you could tell Kat felt like home, and I'll let her tell her part of the story on tomorrow's video. I hope tomorrow's video. Today, while I'm recording this, she's actually wandering the market, trying to learn how to shop in Nicaragua on her own. She's off on her own adventure. I also want to point out that I have a guest who's been joining for the entire show. He walked over and has just been hanging out. So I'm going to do it this way, so that because he's feeling left out. And so, I mean, Kat the whole way is just like, this is beautiful. I love this. I'm connecting with this. I suddenly feel at peace with my decisions. And this is, I mean, you could not imagine someone being more excited about discovering a new country than Kat was in Nicaragua. And I've been saying for years to Kat and to people about Kat that Nicaragua is really where she needs to be. This is what makes sense for her in so many ways. It's the place that I think will be good for her, and I think it's a place that she can be good for. And it just everything fits. And it took a long time to convince her of that, but now, as soon as she hit the country, I mean, she's known, right, for weeks that this is what she's doing. She made this decision, she's taken this leap, but there's a big difference between I'm going to give this a try and actually setting foot into a new country and doing so. She just was losing her mind. She was so happy and so just relieved and felt so good about the whole thing. It was something to see. It was very exciting for us. I mean, because that could have gone the other way. It could have been, what have I done? This is not comfortable. This is scary. This is whatever. And it wasn't. And she's just like, wow, I thought I wanted to live in Arizona. I thought I wanted to go somewhere else. I thought I had all these plans. Now I see that this is the adventure I was looking for. So we're pretty excited to see how this is going to work out for her. And that was just in Rivas. The sun went down by the time before we got to Jinotepe. So the only part of the country that she got to see in any amount of light was the drive through Rivas with the volcanoes and the lake on the right, the Pacific off to the left that you couldn't see at all because it's about 15 kilometers away. And then by the time we got to the central cities, it was dark. We did drive through Crucero and up into the mountains in Boqueta, and from up there, she got to see the lights of Managua and is like, whoa, this is so cool. And you can see, you know, there's some things you can see in the dark, and she even enjoyed that. And then the drive into León, and then we went out to the Fratanga as soon as we got home and got some local food, and she was just like, this is fantastic. Like, just everything was very, very exciting for her. So we got home, I think about 9 o'clock, just before 9, the Fratanga. We were the last ones at the Fratanga. We bought them. I'm like, I need some gallo pinto, and they're just like, here, take the whole thing, and gave me a big bag of it. And they're like, we're done. Called it a night. And the dogs were so excited to see us. They were just like, oh my gosh, they're home. We thought they were dead. They left us. So it was a good day, a lot of good travel, and absolutely everything went smoothly. I think I would heavily recommend for most people right now, because of COVID, because of the very current right now situation, not the last year, not the coming year, just right at the moment, the situation with how Nicaragua is requiring certain things, the airlines that are flying, and how Costa Rica is requiring things. Currently, I feel that the flights into Liberia may be the best option for getting in and out of Nicaragua until more flights return to Managua and or the COVID requirements are dropped, at which point everything will change again. But for just right now, Costa Rica is making it so easy, and overall Costa Rica is so easy that it's a great, great option and no big deal at all. And before this even goes live, I'm going to make a video talking about that flight path so you can understand what that trip is. So if you're interested in that, it should already be posted. If you're not, you don't have to watch it, but please do, and like and subscribe, because I really need the likes and subscribes. That's what keeps this channel going. I appreciate all of you and the effort you put in telling other people about this and sharing on social media and getting the word out about this and everything else that we do. I'm really excited to have Kat talking about her adventures here tomorrow, and tomorrow we plan on taking her out to the beach, because all she did was see the drive and the lake and our house in León. She hasn't seen the city yet. She didn't go anywhere tonight. She didn't walk. All she saw was the house and the Fratanga across the street. She hasn't even seen the church yet. So tomorrow should be the beach, should be more of the city. And it looks like about a month, fingers crossed, everything's gonna go well, I'm heading to Guatemala, and that's gonna be an awful lot of fun on the videos. I'm excited to bring that to you. I'm even more excited to get to go. Never been to Guatemala. It'll be Guatemala and Honduras, I believe. And that's gonna be really exciting. So even more good stuff coming, but we're here in Nicaragua for the next several weeks at least. I will see you all tomorrow. Like and subscribe.